Hi guys, I'm Fadil. I'm so glad I'm finally doing a tutorial for you guys. In this video, I'll be doing a simple drawing just to make you familiar with my drawing techniques and tools. The materials that I'm using for this drawing are Prismacolor Premier pencils, of course, Taylor-Only No. 8 synthetic filbert brush, Lyra graphite pencil, distilled turpentine, large brush for sweeping, Taylor-Only oil colors. As with any other drawings, start with an outline first. For the outline, I am using graphite pencils by the brand Lyra. Make sure you make the shape right. If it's not, erase and redraw until you get the proper shape. We should carefully study the reference picture or object for the color and tone. That is how much darker or lighter it is compared to the other areas. Here I am outlining the darkest areas in the grape by the color terracotta, species 944. And I am starting to fill in those areas with the terracotta itself. You can see that I am using small circular to oval strokes repeatedly to make it even. And make sure to use a medium pressure while drawing. We'll be adding several layers on top of it later on. I'm now doing a second layer with that terracotta and some really dark areas. For this, I'm using the reference picture as my guide. I'm starting to fill in those areas that were left behind. Just look at the reference picture and decide how much darker or lighter it is going to be. Now I'm using the color Tuscan Red PC 937 for the darker areas. This helps in making them even darker and reddish. Also, you can notice that I left behind a small area on the right upper corner. It's for the highlight. Highlights may help to make the drawing look shiny. In the reference picture, there were some areas with bright reddish orange color. I'm using carmine red PC 926 and orange PC 918 for drawing that. Always make sure you never overdo it. Just a thin layer will do. Now we will add several layers of crimson red PC 924 on top of the underdrawing we have already created. It gives you a glazing like effect. All you need is to draw a thin layer of red on top of the underdrawing. You don't need to worry about the tone in this stage. I'm adding another layer with the dark brown BZ946 for defining the tone further. At this stage you can see that the drawing gets really thick. This is what we call a burnished look. You can't see the white of the paper anymore, but in this drawing I'm not going to burnish all the areas, but I'll be using distilled turpentine for blending, which is very easy. I'm using orange, red and browns again to make the drawing look even closer to the reference picture. Now that all the layers are completed, I'm going to blend them to make it smooth and shiny. I'm using a synthetic brush and distilled turpentine for this. For doing this, first dip the brush in the turpentine. Wipe off the excess with a tissue paper. And gently apply it on the drawing. Can you see how easily the drawing blends? If distilled turpentine is not available in your place, you don't have to worry. Any organic solvent will get the job done. Odorless mineral spirits are much better, I guess. We can add layers after layer, even after the blending. This helps to make the drawing look even more vibrant. Now I am using indigo blue BZ901 for the really dark areas and spots. Now the red grape part is almost complete. Using the same method of drawing the red grape, I am using several greens to draw the small green unripe grape. Unripe grapes are not so shiny, so I won't be adding that pure white highlight for this one. The colors used are chartreuse, BZ989, spring green, BZ913, true green, BZ910 and lime pale, BZ1005. I'm also adding a layer of grey for making the tone right. Grey make the color less vibrant but darker. Now we need to smoothen the edges out. We can do it by burnishing with a lighter color. Here I am burnishing the edges with a cream pencil, that is BZ914. For the stock, I am using light umber BZ941, dark brown BZ946 and lime peel BZ1005. And a bit of indigo blue for the darkest areas. And finally, we are going to draw the cast shadow. In this picture, cast shadow is very light and smooth. So I'm using dry brush technique for this. I'm using black Daler-Rowney oil color for this one. All you have to do is slightly dip the brush in the oil color and rub it on some tissue paper until you only get a very faint color from the brush. And apply it on this paper to get a smooth, even tone. Apply over and over to make it darker. And that's it, the drawing is complete. I get a lot of questions asking what tools I'm using, how do I blend the drawing, how to do dry brushing and all. I hope this video answers them all. Thank you for watching guys. If you have any doubts or suggestions, put it in the comments below. And also comment about what should I do in the next tutorial.